audible.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to the fourth day, and hopefully today will be the final day of our Bhagavad Gita crash course. And I think because of being weekday, many people are not able to join. Okay, anyways. So yesterday we have discussed about the three subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, that is about Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. And day before yesterday, we discussed about the two subject matters, that is Jiva and Ishvara. So in all, there are five subject matters we discussed, which are there in Bhagavad Gita. They are Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So these things, at least we should remember what is there and what is the relationship between these five subject matters. So, first of all, the Ishvara is the one who has created the Jiva. Ishvara has created the Prakriti. Everything comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we discussed, he is the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvita. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter 8th verse that from me everything comes. Everything means the living as well as the non-living also. So when all the things come from him, uh, and then we have to know why are we suffering if that person is fully opulent. He has got so many opulences as we discussed the other day, that he is full of he's got all the wealth, all the knowledge, all the beauty, all the strength, all the power, renunciation, everything is there, all the knowledge is there. But then being is part and parcel. Why is that we are suffering here? And he is not subjected to birth, death, old age, and disease. But why are we, though we are part and parcel of that Supreme Personality of Godhead, why are we suffering? So this is the question we have to ask. So I said the other day that where Jiva, a human being, has to ask this question: why am I suffering? Even though now knowing about the Supreme Lord, we have to ask if he is in that good condition, he is in that opulent condition, why is that we are suffering? So today we will discuss on that, and how again after leaving him, after we have discussed that because we have left that person and try to be independently controlling, enjoying the facilities. Therefore, we are suffering, and that will be the course of the discussion today, which we are going to do. And we will also understand mm, how, again, by establishing the relationship with that person, we are going to come out of this problem of birth, death, old age, and disease, which was many people's concern. At least the people were asking, were curious how and when we can get out of this birth death cycle. It is so painful, it is so troublesome to all of us. So how can we get out of this cycle? That is the most important thing, and that solution we are going to discuss today. So as we discussed yesterday, today also we will see all these things through our presentation. So the practical application of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and how to get that solution is basically on how we can get out of this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. That is the matter of discussion for today. So from yesterday we have been discussing about two things, karma and vikarma. And one more, in the question answer session, I've introduced the term akarma. So karma means when someone does an activity according to the shastra, that is called as karma. And if someone is doing an activity or uh, activity opposite or not in conjunction with the scripture, that is called as vikarma. And when one does a karma, he will get a pious credit, and then he will go to the heaven. And when he does vikarma, that is opposite to the shastras which are mentioned, then he will acquire papa, and because of that he will go to hell. So both these things are going to keep us uh, in this material world. So this material world, in this material universe, the Brahmanda where we are staying, in this Brahmanda itself, this heavenly planet and hell are also there. This material world is called as Durg. So therefore, the jailer of this jail is called as Durga. She is the jailer. She is going to punish us for the wrongdoing which we have done. So, anyways, both whether you do pious activity and impious activity, both will keep us in this jail only. So then, how can we get out of this jail? Is the process called as akarma, and that is what we are going to learn today. So, according to scripture, what we do is karma. So, akarma means it is different from karma and vikarma, and from here there is no reaction. Neither karma comes nor vikarma comes. Neither punya comes nor papa comes. What is this activity? When this will happen? When we act keeping Krishna in the center. When we keep Krishna in the center and do all these activities, only then we will be able to get out of this karmic cycle. Like, for example, we'll discuss with few examples. Arjuna and Duryodhana, both of them were fighting. He was also shooting arrows. He was also, both of them were shooting arrows. Both of them were killing uh, many people. But Arjuna was elevated, but Duryodhana was suffering. The reason being Arjuna was working for Krishna and Duryodhana was working for his own self. So, as we said yesterday in the question answer session, that a person when he is in the army, this is the best example which we can remember. And uh, whenever we are doing some activity, we have to keep this in mind and act. Is the work I am doing, is it for myself or is it for the Lord? So, as I said, the soldier who is working, who is fighting at the border and killing the enemy soldiers, he will be appreciated and he will be given medals by the government of India. The same person, if he comes to home and then he fights with his neighbor, and then there he again shoots that person also, then this place, this time, the same person, maybe the same uh, instrument may be used to kill, but he will be put into the jail. So, what is the reason? The reason is there he worked for the country, and here at his home he is working for his own self. So, similar logic applies when we work anything, any work we perform. If the work is meant for our own self, our own satisfaction, our own enjoyment, our own controllership, then we are going to suffer for that. If we want to get out of this suffering, don't want this reaction, then only thing what remains is working for Krishna. Like another example, cashier in the bank, if he counts throughout the day so much of money, uh, and later he says at the end of the day, okay, let me take one bundle. I've counted so many bundles of notes of currency, and why should I keep all? I'll also take one. As long as he keeps everything in the bank itself, he will not suffer. As soon as he thinks that let me take one bundle of currency notes, then he will be put into the jail. The reason being there, the work is same, but the end result he was thinking, I should take it. So that will put that person into the trouble. So therefore, the reason why we are struggling, why we are suffering, is mainly because we are working our own self. That has already put us into the problem, and still we are continuing to do in that way itself. We are not changing the way of working. So far we have been thinking that if I get something, if I want whatever I want, if I get this position, if I get this much of money, I am going to enjoy. But go to that person who have asked for these things and who have got also, but are they happy? The happiness is not a function of the things what we get. The happiness there, therefore, all these things should make us realize that if I am getting what I want, still I am not happy, then is there any problem in my thinking? Is there any problem in my desiring? That one should ask. So for this purpose only, this special facility is given to this human being. And one more example I said in this is a servant in a hotel and a mother. A mother, here the example is mother serves a son or a daughter selflessly. There is no selfish desire. She serves only for the pleasure of the children. But there in the servant in the hotel, he also serves. But does he serve with that same kind of attitude as a mother serves? No. Why? There he is working for his own self, and in that doing for his own self, he is doing service to others. But here, mother never expects anything from the child, but still she serves out of pure love for the children. So this is how we need to understand how if by working for Krishna, there is no suffering. Even the suffering will be there. The mother will be struggling so hard when the baby is newly born. The child wakes up early in the morning or in the night. Whenever she wakes up, she attends. She doesn't say, "Oh, I don't want to take care of this child." No, even that suffering is a pleasure to the mother. So similarly, when we do something for the Lord, for the Supreme Lord Krishna, because He is the one who has given us all the facilities. He is the one who has given this world an opportunity for all of us. And we engage again all the things in His service, then we will surely be happy and there will be no difficulties in the life. So, how do we get freedom? Yesterday, we have been discussing that we have been put into the jail of material world. Why? The reason being, we wanted to be the control, we wanted to be the enjoyer, we wanted to be the owner, we wanted to be the proprietor. And for that, what did Krishna do? Oh, Krishna said, okay, this is not the place where you can enjoy. So go and enjoy there. So that is what this material world is all about. I'll show you the the universal creation, how the Lord has created all these things, and how did we come over here. So I'm not going to explain this in detail, but in brief, this is what the Goloka or Krishna Loka is, and this entire portion till here, uh, till here, what you see on the screen, this is the spiritual world, and below the spiritual world is this material world, where what you are seeing over here. Below this Brahma Jyoti, what you see the river, Viraja river, below this all is called as material world. This entire thing. Okay, people who are there in this place, the spiritual world, they are with the Lord always. And what are they doing? Why they are with the Lord? They are with the Lord because they all are ready to serve Him. They all want to serve the Lord because He has created them. They are His obedient servants, and therefore they are all enjoying in this life, enjoying in in the spiritual world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore, they are all enjoying in this material world. And therefore don't want to serve you, we enjoy like you, we want to own something like you. Then Krishna said, then this is not the place for you. The place is, I will make another place for you, and that place is called as this material world. And therefore, we have been sent to this place. So therefore, and there are many, many places. Like you see here, the golden balls, they are called as different Brahmanda. Huh? Different Brahmandas are there. So in run Brahmanda, what is the situation? If you look at, this is what the Brahmanda looks like inside. You might have seen the Vishnu lying, and from his navel comes out a lotus flower, and from on the top of that lotus flower is Brahmaji, and below him are the 14 planets. So this is what I was referring to when I said we are all on this Bhur planet, the Earth planet. And when you do punya, you will go to upper planets like Bhuvar, Swar, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. And if we do uh, impious activities, then we will come to this Atala, Vitala, Sutala, and Narakalokas. There are 28 hells according to the different kinds of our impious activities, sinful activities. We will get different narkalokas. So now the choice is there with us, whether we want to go to this loka, or whether we want to come down, or whether we want to go up, or whether we want to go to this planet. The choice is given to all of us. Here, the human form of life is especially given this opportunity of whether where you want to go, and depending upon that, we have been advised in the shastras to perform that kind of activity, or the activity which we perform is, and which activity we have to perform, that comes through the shastra, that comes through Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And there Krishna mentions that we are all suffering with positive or negative, or punya or papa. Then how can we get, even if we get punya also, still we have, if we think papa also, still we are in the material world. So both activities are going to put us in this material world. Then what is that I have to do? Only through a karma we can become free. That means only when we work for the Lord, for Krishna, then we will become free from this bondage of cycle of birth and death. So Brahmaji, he says in his Brahma Samhita, Yasvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahotsa Karma Bandha Nurupa Balabhajana Matanoti Karma Nirdahati Kintu Chabakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahotsa Karma Bandhanurupa Falabhajana Matanoti. It means there is a one cell germ called as Indragopa, and from Indragopa to Lord Indra, who is the Lord of heaven. So in between, whoever are there, if they are working for their own self, Yasvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahotsva Karma, Bandhanurupa Falabhajana Matanoti. Falabhajana means when they are doing some activity and they are expecting some result, some fruit, and they think that I am going to enjoy that fruit, and they enjoy the fruit, that will lead them to the karma bandhana. But karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. But the same person, if he does it for the pleasure of the Lord, bhakti bhajam, when he does this activity for Krishna, then karmani nirdahati, all the karmas will get vanquished. The dhati means it will be burned away. All the karmas, it is as good as we are not acting. Even when we do some activity, we will get some punya or papa. But when we do that same activity for the sake of the Lord, for the Lord, then there will be no more punya or papa, no more activity, and so therefore no more bandhan, and therefore we will be free from the cycle of birth and death. And this is the highest achievement oh, you and all these things you are all doing. What is, give food to the poor, give all these things are also good in one way. But assume that there is a son of a very rich man, and you are is one of his friend, and you went to that rich man's house recently, and you had taken a good lunch over there with him. You met his family members, and after a week or a month or so, they you see the son of that rich man having proper clothing, not having he was just he was like beggar. And you have got three options. First is you go and see that person, oh, he maybe he is the same friend, the son of the same friend. You think you are busy in your work and you will go. That's the first thing which one can do. The second thing is that he can go to that person and say, oh, you are the son of that rich man, na? Okay, you take 1,000 rupees and get your proper clothes and eat something. Like that you can give some money and go away. And the third thing is you go to that person, tell him to ask him to sit in your car, take him home, give him fresh bath, and then give him nice food, and then sit with him and ask, hey, my dear son, what happened? You are the son of my millionaire friend. Why are you roaming in the street like a beggar? Then the person would say, oh, no, no, I had a little fight with my father, and therefore I just came out of the home. Then you make him understand, no, the father, whatever he told is for your good future. You make him understand that this child did some mistake in his uh, uh, anger. He just left the father thinking that I will be able to live on my own self. But because being a rich son, he was not habituated to do some activities, did not do something, did not learn something to live his life. So therefore, he is now struggling. And then you make him understand, no, 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 the father, whatever he told is for your good. So you want to go back. When you convince that person and you say, when you convince that person and say, and the child says, the son of the millionaire says, yes, yes, I want to go back. Then what you do? Simply you have to do just call the father, and the father will come and take him home. So this is the third activity, third choice which we can do. So out of the three, what is the best thing? The best thing is to convince the child and again send him back home, back to his millionaire father. Then all his problems are solved. You don't have to worry about his clothing, his shelter, his food. Nothing he has to worry. Once he is attached to his father, once he goes back to his father, then the father will take care. So this is the exactly activity which we are doing. This Krishna consciousness movement, ISKCON, through ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada is started this activity, this movement, only to re-establish the lost connection of all of us, all the jivas who are suffering here. Even though we are the father of, our father is a millionaire, is a billionaire, is the Lakshmi Pati, not millionaire, billionaire, he is the Lakshmi Pati. He has got so many opulences as we discussed day before yesterday. And what are we doing through all these things? We are only trying to establish this connection with that Supreme Father. Uh, Once we establish that connection, once we go back to Him, then there is no worry at all. Then there is nothing to be bothered about this person. Not to speak of going there. You don't have to, physically go there. Even while living in this world, if we get this connection established, then this person becomes so peaceful. He will not hanker for anything extra. After getting Krishna, he says, this is what I wanted. Actually, this is what our soul wants. We not knowing about this, every one of us, all of us are struggling so hard. We are thinking, oh, if I get something, if I get, a lot of money, or if I get this thing, if I get that thing, then I will become happy. Like that, we are thinking, and we are running behind them. Now, let us analyze our life. from the childhood. When we are born, we are so much loving to our mother. We loved our mother so much. But as we grew, then we said, I love my father. And then why? Because then the father is going to give the things what I want, right? And then after some time you said, now I don't want my father. I am with my friends. I want my some friends. And that's how we grow. And then after that you want girlfriend, or girls want boyfriend. This thing happened. And after that you say, oh, I'm not satisfied with that. Let me get married and settle down. Then he gets settled down. He tries to find happiness with the wife, or the wife tries to find happiness with the husband. And then later, the love shifts from the wife to the child. And then he doesn't want, the wife is okay there. Oh, then you're happy with the child. And after that, even the child say he doesn't follow what you say. What are the instructions you give? He doesn't follow. He makes you always puts you in trouble. We say, why I got this child? See, from childhood, mother to father to friends to wife to children, and then he grows. Then he suffers with the child or he enjoys with the child. And later, when the son grows, he becomes happy with the grandson. For some time, he does not. After the grandson also grows, he will not show that love which he was showing when he was a small child. So then at the end, then after becoming old, then we think, oh, what I've done in my life. We were looking out for some person who will love me. We want someone to love, but more than that, we want someone to love us. And we are actually in search of that person. Where is that person? Where is that person? Where is that person? And like this, searching. And at the end, we become so old that we will not be able to search. And then in that lamentation, we pass from this body, and the soul leaves this body and enters in another body. And again, it starts searching. Again, it starts searching. So like this, in different bodies, in different from time immemorial, we have been searching like this. So the search ends because we don't know about that person. So therefore, we are searching at different levels. Like if my eyes see a beautiful thing, then I will become happy. If I eat nice things, or if I get some nice facilities, then I will become happy. This is all not knowing who the real person is, or whom we want. We are actually searching out for. So therefore, we have been searching. So the search ends when we come to this position that, oh, this is the father. Who is my father also? Mata, Pita, Data. He is everything actually. When we know about this person, then we say, oh, I've been searching for this person so long. Now all the stuff, worries, all the search ends at this person. All the worries and all the search ends when we come to Krishna. This is the person who we were searching for. And with through conducting these classes, and Krishna also is trying to call all of us, because we have left him, even though in anger or in whatever mood we have come out of our father. The father is always thinking that how can I get my child back to myself. I have got so much of wealth, so much of facilities, and there he is lying and is suffering there. Why is suffering? Why he has to suffer? So he makes ways and plans that how can I can call this soul back to my loka. So therefore, he personally comes to call us, but still we don't listen. He comes in various avatars, like a father. If a child is like, not he is crying, then the father. Nowadays, so people just give the mobile and finish the job. But earlier they would make the child laugh by doing some acting, doing something with the child. Were doing different actions, like they would act like a dog, like act like a cat. All these things they would do so that the child will laugh. But now the procedure, all that thing is gone. where father is also busy, mother is also busy, and the mobile is free, and they give the mobile. But Krishna is not that father. He is coming personally as Krishna himself. He coming in different forms like Rama, Narsimha, Vamana, Vara, Kurma, Matsya. You name all the avatars. The purpose of all those avatars is only to attract the attention of all of us who have lost in thinking about him. And not only like that, he also sends his confidential sons, or who are his faithful sons, like Srila Prabhupada, like our Acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, uh, all these Acharyas. Who are they? They are the faithful sons of the Lord. They have come to convince all of us, hey, my dear soul, oh, my dear brother, let us go. The Father is calling. You are suffering over here. There is no problem in that our Father's place. Let us go. They are trying to convince us through all the lectures, through all the preachings. What is all these things? This is only the request by the Lord through Himself, by Himself, and through His representatives. He is trying to call all of us. But we have said, I don't want to hear. We don't want to hear. We kept a blind ear to what the ways of his calling. So that is the problem which has happened with all of us, and that is how we are struggling. Only a soul, when he, after going through all these pieces and these things, oh, why I am suffering, then this real knowledge, Krishna makes his contact with a bona fide, a genuine person, so that he can come back to him. So therefore, we see, I saw in any class, any this Bhagavad Gita crash course, we see on the first day a lot of people join, and second day only few, third day few, and fourth day now see so many reduced. Like, you only those people who are having faith and who have got genuinely want to get out of this material world, they going to stick. And after this also, many people will say, okay, this is all fair, we all feel nice about this, but who has so much of time, or who want to hear, do all these activities? And by thinking like this, many people will not follow what is going to be told today. So only people who have got enough struggles, who have suffered enough in this material world, they will make an hard endeavor to establish that relation with the Lord and go back to him. And Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasresu kashyate. Out of thousands of men, only one person will try to understand me. And out of those thousand people who understand me, only few people, only one or two will come to me. So that is not false. This is the claim of the Lord. Only few people. But for that, what is required is to have faith in what we are hearing, to have faith in the scripture, what we are going to read. Okay, so this is the activity which actually we are all of us are doing. The problem, you are asked why we are in confusion, why we are in fear, why there is so much of anxiety. The anxiety, the fear is all because we have left that most secure father and come into this dark place. Why there is fear? If everything is there but there is no light, will you walk so freely? No, we walk with fear. We will not be able to walk as we are there in the light. Or if some illiterate person is just left in a foreign country, will that person be able to enjoy even if he is left in a beautiful place? He will not be able to enjoy. Why? Because of he was ignorant of the place that is a foreign place to him. Because it is dark, we can't see. So therefore, we are fearful. This is our main problem. The cause of the problem is the cause of fear is that we don't know actually where we have to go and how we have to go and what we have to do. All these things we are unaware. If we are kept in the dark place, we will naturally be fearful. So therefore, Shastra says, oh, Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrutyorma Amrutangamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Come from the tamas to Jyoti, to light. We are in the darkness. How in darkness any person will be fearless without confusion? He will have confusion, he will have fear. So therefore it says you come to light. When there is light, then things are clear. Then you can walk freely without any problem. Asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya tamas asat. From this asat, this material body, it is asat. This world is asat. Uh, This world is asat. And from here it says go to that sat place where there is no birth, no death, old age and disease. Murtyorma amrutangamaya. Go from this mruta place to that amruta place. This is one thing. And another is now make your journey from this body towards the soul. This body is asat, it is going to die, but go towards the soul which is sat. This body is tama, ignorance, and go to the soul which is full of light. Go to the soul which is amrita from this body which is mruta. Asatoma sadgama. This is the meaning. That is what it is telling. Make your journey inside, not outside. So that is the purpose of this entire Bhagavad Gita. The main, the crux, if you want to remember, is that we are the souls. We are the part and parcels of the Supreme Lord, who is so opulent, so having all the facilities. But because we have left Him, because some reason, we are struggling over here. We are suffering over here. If we want to put that sufferings to an end, therefore I said we have to go from this place to that place. And then there are no worries, no anxiety, no confusions. Everything will be crystal clear. This is what will happen, over a period of time when we practice nicely whatever is being told. Okay, so having understood what is the purpose, why have we come here, what is the purpose of our coming over here, let us understand how can we go to that place. What is that I have to do? So this is what I said. How to get free from liberation, bondage, free from this bondage. As we see, I showed this. There are so many 84 lakhs of species are there, and from there, this human form of life is an opportunity for all of us to get out of this cycle of birth and death. If once we miss this opportunity, again you will start with that amoeba, the star which you see in the aquatics, and again you will have to go through all these species, and again after 80 lakhs of species, we will passing through 80 lakh bodies, we will come to this human body. Even after coming to human body, it is not a guarantee that we will come back, we will be able to have that consciousness of thinking about the Lord, about ourselves. Yeah, it said our 80%, 90% of the people are actually cultureless. They don't know anything about the Lord only, God only, and no way they will worship, do any worship. And some 10% people maybe worshiping, going to the temples, mosques, and church. And even among them, only few people will try to know why am I suffering? Why is that I've been put into this condition? Why I'm not getting the real happiness which I have to get? Only few people will think, and then in thinking, those people who are thinking like that, only few people will come to know about Krishna, and then they will only out of that people who know about Krishna tattvataha, who know originally, are those people who come in contact with this one of the four uh, sampradayas. And out of that also only few people make full endeavor, persist till the time they reach the goal. So that is what, how we can do. At least we may reach there or not, but at least we should make an attempt to go there. So how we can do, for that you may ask, oh, we are living in this world in the Kali Yuga, and we are doing our jobs and we are having our families. How can we do? So Krishna never tells that to leave everything and go and just do his bhajan. No. So how is that really practical? How we can do in a practical way? Responsibilities only. How we can achieve this goal simultaneously? This is the art which Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna did not tell Arjuna, "Hey Arjuna, leave. I will go. I'll take care of this Yuddha." He said, "Arjuna, you remain, you fight, but fight for me. Ma manusmara yuddhacha." When you do like that, then you will come back to me. Otherwise, you will get lost. So, saying that we will see how we can do this activity practically. What is the practical application of Bhagavad Gita? So, our body is compared to this chariot. The five senses are like the five horses, the reins are the mind, the intelligence is the driver, the soul is the passenger who is sitting behind, and see how he is bewildered because these indriyas, the senses, want to go in the direction of their own because the mind and intelligence are not strong enough, not able to hold this horses, control, not able to control these horses. They are going in each of their own direction, and therefore, because the passenger is, is helpless, he is just sitting beside, and therefore he is bewildered condition. Assume you are going in a bus, and the bus driver is drunken, and he drives here and there. Will we be comfortable? We can never be. So Simon, that is the condition of this body right now. That is the reason why we are all suffering, why we are in long anxiety. So let us try and see how we can improve this condition. So there are different levels as we discussed that we have got the soul is covered with two kinds of bodies, uh, gross body and subtle body. So in that gross body and subtle body, there are different levels how we can act, how to engage these things so that we will become free from the bondage of the subtle and gross bodies. So Bhagavad Gita gives a complete solution. Bhakti, or what we are going to discuss, gives the complete solution and teaches us how to engage each of these things so that we can get out of this cycle of birth and death and go back to the person who has created all of us. So starting with that, we first let us look at our gross senses. First, we will start with our gross body. The gross body, as we said, there are five senses: ears, tongue, nose, eyes, and skin. They are called as the knowledge acquiring senses. The first step to purify or to come out of this is hearing. Fortunately, by the grace of the Lord, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, by grace of people who might have told you to attend this course, you are all at least hearing about this. So this is the first and foremost step in realization of ourself and realization in the process of God, realization of the Lord. So the hearing, we when we hear more and more about the Lord, about His devotees, then we will. That is a purification. That is the procedure of treatment for the ears and the tongue. How we can utilize the tongue? Use which the tongue to speak about the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj says there are 9 steps in the process of bhakti. Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. He says first is the Shravanam, hearing, and then Kirtanam, speaking about that. Now, whatever we have heard, if you can speak to one person also, that has become Shravanam. That is the perfection of our tongue. And eating the prasad which is offered to the Lord. But with mouth we can do 2 activities, that is speaking and eating. Speak about the Lord and eat the prasad of the Lord, remnants of the Lord. Similarly, nose, eyes, skin can be used similarly, but I am not going to discuss about this thing. We'll discuss it in another time. But in the initially phases, we have to utilize these things in the service. So this is the treatment for our gross body. When we do utilize these things in the service of the Lord, that will purify. And then how do you treat the at the level of subtle body? Intelligence and false ego can be purified by repeating a mantra. Why? We are going to discuss on this elaborately. Then take for intelligence, how the intelligence can be improved. It can be improved by reading the Shastra. And the false ego, which thinks that I am so big, I am so rich man, or I am manager of the company. Like this, we may be having so many identifications. How that identification will go away? By doing an humble service under the guidance of a spiritual master, under the guidance of a preceptor. When we do, then this false ego will be treated. So when this gross body and the subtle body are gone, these are the two layers on the pure soul. When these are eliminated, then the soul becomes free from this bondage. How to give up that covering? Now imagine there is a rocket. When they launch, what happens? Initially when they launch, there will be a big thing, and then after some time, after some height it reaches, then the body which is there behind it, it will position that the the top layer into an orbit, and it collapses. And after that, that small satellite which is there, it will go up to some place, and from there it will launch the satellite, and even that also collapses. So similarly, this gross body and subtle body are like that. If we train this gross body in such a way that it will take us to some height, and from there, if we train the subtle body, it will take it to a certain height, so that it will place the soul at the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna. So this is the purpose. This is actually, the Bhakti Marga means what? It is a launching of this body which has got this gross and subtle bodies, and which has got a soul where we get to when we get to the soul will be positioned in its original position. So how what kind of body we have to make for that? Now our body is dull. It's like a bus. It's going here and there. But now we have to make it into a launcher, a rocket, which will launch this soul from this earthly planet to the spiritual planet of the Lord. Okay. So how that can be done? As we said, at the gross body, we can to utilize this ears in hearing about the Lord, and tongue about speaking about the Lord, and then mind with repeating a mantra. Intelligence has to be utilized in reading the Shastras, the scriptures. False ego has to be utilized in serving the Lord. And we'll focus mainly on this mind, because mind and intelligence plays a very important role in our journey to that spiritual planet. So let's understand a little bit about the mechanism of the mind, how the mind works, what is the position of the mind. So the mind is actually does three things: thinking, feeling, and willing. And how does it do? It is actually go down of what? It is a go down of our thoughts, our unfulfilled desires, and our previous experiences. Right? So it will say, oh, it will give produce you, it will give us so many hundreds and thousands of thoughts. And then when it is not fulfilled, it will remain as unfulfilled desires, and it will come up again and again. Oh, still I have my desires to be fulfilled. And because of this, we will have some experiences in the past, and that past experiences, because of which we think someone to be our enemy, someone to be our friend, something to be our favorable thing, something to be a unfavorable thing. All these things, how we decide? We all decide this depending upon the mind. The mind gives us the thought, but the intelligence actually is the decision maker, has to be the decision maker. But the problem is that even the intelligence has become contaminated. It has become so weak that it cannot control the horses along with the reins. Therefore, the senses are going in five directions, as I showed in that chariot. The different horses are going in different directions under the direction of this mind. But the intelligence, as an intelligent driver, is to control the horses. He should be strong enough to control. Then the soul which is sitting behind will be peaceful. But because the intelligence is also not strong and the mind is also not in a good shape, therefore we are struggling. And what is the nature of the mind? Is the mind so bad? No. The mind, as long as if it is controlled, then it is our best friend. If it is not controlled, it will be our greatest enemy. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmatmaiva najita anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. If you can control this mind, then it is our best friend. Or if you cannot control, it is our worst enemy. Like a knife is there. The knife can be utilized for two things: cutting vegetables or killing someone. So it depends upon how that person is utilizing it. So therefore, we have to train our mind to act in such a way. It will help us to remain in this material world also, and it will help us in going back to Krishna also. Both ways this mind will help, but depends upon what the mind this depends upon, are we controlling the mind or are we controlled by the mind? And this plays a very very major important role. And therefore people who, because they can't control, so many thoughts come, so many depressing thoughts come, and they still can't control, and therefore they do ever things, they will commit suicide, they will say bad things to others, they will hate others. Why all these things? Why we do see these things? We try to cheat others, we try to like criticize others. All these things are because of our uncontrolled mind. And if we think that, oh, there is someone enemy in my life, then the biggest enemy in our lives are our mind. This is the mind which is our biggest enemy. Apart from this, there is no enemy. Therefore it is a very very critical factor in all of our lives. And therefore we should learn, if you especially want to progress on the path of bhakti and go back to that person Krishna, Loka, then we should learn to do this. And I would say that it is very difficult thing. It needs a lot of practice, it needs a lot of guidance, and it needs a lot of effort to be put. Because this mind, as I said, it is a storehouse of thoughts. And yesterday I told that the the thoughts are not just of this lifetime. These thoughts are of so many millions of lifetimes we have been spending. So many bodies we have changed. All those thoughts are still stored in the mind. The subtle body never dies. Even the body dies, this gross body dies, but the subtle body, which consists of intelligence, mind, and the false ego, it doesn't die. So therefore the thoughts are still there in our mind. So we have to act very very peculiarly and very very determinedly to control this mind. How do we do that? Then that is the question. Then we were going to answer this through based upon the Shastra. There are various ways of controlling mind. People would control that through dhyana, meditation. People would control that to doing karma, by doing some activities. And people would control that through jnana, reading some scriptures. And people would control that through doing bhakti. So there are various ways how we can control the mind. But what is that we have to do now? Which is the best thing out of them? Like in winter, we wear woolen clothes. Monsoon, we wear raincoat. Summer, we wear cotton. Similarly, in the universal season, there are different things. Like you, Satyuga. There we know there are four yugas: Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga. In Satyuga, Krite Adhyayato Vishnu. त्रेतायां यजतो मकै द्वापरे परिचर्यायां कलौ तद हरिकीर्तना. Means in Satyuga, that is the age of enlightenment. In Satyuga, there are no seasons we have to be born. Similarly, for different yugas, there are different processes of attaining the Lord. Then we may ask, what is the mantra? Mantra means mind, man plus tra. It is mind, and tra means trayate iti mantra. Man iti trayate mantra means the mantra which delivers a person from its condition. I said the mind is now uncontrolled. It is like a big bulldog. It is barking so loud. It is saying, don't do good things, don't behave nicely, don't do bhakti. This is not meant for now. You do it after 60 years. There is so much of time left. All these bad thoughts which will take us away from Krishna, the mind is producing now. And when we are still listen to that mind, what will happen? We will continue to listen to it and continue to stay in this material world only. So the mantra is the something which will help us liberate ourselves from this mind's thoughts. These thoughts which says, don't do bhakti, don't follow this Krishna consciousness, don't follow the Lord, don't study Bhagavad Gita, which makes us away from our Supreme Father, our Eternal Father. That is our mind currently. How to change that perception of the mind? That is done through a mantra. You might have heard in villages when there is a snake bite, then the people would just chant some mantras. Because of that mantra, the poison would get down of that person, get away from that person's body. So, just does the mantra have so much of power? Yes, the mantra has so much of power to take out the poison. The mantra which we are going to discuss, that has so much of effect. It is so much effective that it will take out the poison of our self desire, of what we want to enjoy. That is the poison in us. We want to be away from Krishna. That is the poison. And this mantra will help us remove that poison. And when we are free from poison, then we become natural. Then there is no more danger actually. The snake is dangerous because of its fangs, because it has got poisonous fangs. That is the problem. So similarly, when that is taken, then there is no danger with the snake. Similarly, the mind also, the thoughts which are there currently, that has to be removed. That has to be purified. Who will do that? Is there anything? Like if the clothes are dirty, we will put it in the washing machine, soak it in our detergent powder, and then try to brush it and then remove the cloth, remove the stain. But what the stains which are there in the mind, the thoughts which are there in the mind of enjoying, I want to enjoy, I want to be the proprietor, all these things, how it will be washed? For that, there is no detergent, but the detergent, the solution is the mantra. So that is for it is advised that we should chant some mantra, but not any mantra. Shastra says, Brihad Bharat Naradiya Purana says, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Kalau nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. In this Kali there is no other means, no other means, no other means for self-realization than chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name of Lord Hari. Therefore, we are chanting the names of Hari, not anyone's name. People who want to cheat us, they will tell, okay, whatever mantra you want to chant, you can chant, no problem. Will the doctor go and say like that? The doctor will have so many medicines in his clinic, and the patient goes, "Oh, I have got fever." Okay, you can take whatever the medicine you want. Will he tell like that? No, he will give you a specific medicine. Similar, this the Shastra is giving us the specific mantra. It is the Harinama mantra. Okay, Hari also the means Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, Narayana. He all means Hari. So we can chant any mantra of Hari also. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Like this, there are so many mantras we can chant. But then it is specifically told in Kali Santara Upanishad that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Iti Shodakam Nam Nam, Kali Kalmashanashanam, Natah Paratarupaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. Then once Narada was asking this to Brahmaji, in Kali Yuga, what is the way these people will get out of this material world? What is the specific mantra? Can you tell my father? Then Brahmaji says this sloka. He says, Hare Krishna. This 16 words mantra. Iti Shodakam. Shodakam means the 16 letter mantra is the Kali Kalmashanashanam. This Kali, in the age of Kali, whatever the bad things are there, they are all being washed by this 16 letter mantra, 16 words mantra. And there is no other upaya, na taha paratara upaya. Sarvavedeshu dushyate. You may see all the Vedas, as I said, 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, Upapuranas, all these things. After you search in that Puranas, you find that this is the best mantra. Not there is nothing better than this 16 words mantra. Other than this, there is no other mantra which can help us to get out of this condition of birth and death, and especially this is meant for Kali Yuga. For other yugas, there are other mantras, but for this Kali Yuga, this is the mantra which is being prescribed. This is the prescription from the Acharyas. And what is the destination when we chant? Kaler dosho nide rajanasti kamad guna kirtana devasya krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. We do when this chanting of the Hari mantra, Hare Krishna Maha mantra, then kirtana devasya krishnasya. When we do Krishna's bhajana, kirtana, what happens? Mukta sangha means this material world, the sangha, this material world, we will become free from this material world. And then where we will go? Param Vrajet. We will go to the highest abode of the Lord, that is Goloka. So that is what is prescribed. And therefore the Hare Krishna chant, Hare Krishna Maha mantra, no other mantra. This is the logic why we are doing this. It's not that people think, oh, why they say only Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna always. Because that is what is prescribed. You can't say why this doctor always is giving this same pink color medicine every time I go with a fever. Because that is the medicine for the fever. Then you can't say that no, I'll take other medicine. Then that is our foolishness. So that is why they, because of based upon the scriptures, as I said, the scriptures are the Vedas and they are like our mother, and we have to follow what the mother says in who determining who our father is, or how to identify or how to go there. The Vedas are giving this knowledge to all of us. What is that mind is, how the mind is making us bound in this material world, how we can become free by chanting a mantra, and which mantra we have to chant, a Hari mantra, and then which kind of Hare Krishna mantra is this Hare Krishna Maha mantra. And then if we chant, and then where do we go? Not just we'll get out of this material world, but we'll go to the highest planet that is called as Krishna Loka. So how can we chant this mantra? We can do individually, sitting at home. We can chant to ourselves, just whisper or say in a way that we can hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We can hear like this, we can sit alone. And another is group chanting where we can come together and chant like this. So this is also mantra. So like this, mind, how by doing these things, the mind will come under control by the grace of the Lord, and it will help us to get out of this material world. Then by engaging our senses in the Lord's service, by utilizing the intelligence in reading the scriptures, and engaging our false ego in serving under the direction of a spiritual preceptor, we will uh, purify our senses, the bodies, actually the subtle body and the gross body, and one day we will go back home, back to Godhead. And so therefore, so far a train, if you see the example, a train cannot run on a single track. It has to have two tracks for it to run smoothly. So therefore, our lives have to be molded in such a way we do both these activities simultaneously, so that we can enjoy a nice ride. We can live happily in the material world also, material life also, and we will progress on the spiritual path also. So this is the art of living actually. How to live in the way we are living, whatever the way we are living, wherever we are living, whatever the way the work which we are doing all these things, but doing little bit of tuning, doing little bit of little bit of modification to the lifestyle, including some activities, how the same things will lead us to a spiritual path and to go back, help us to go back to that person who has given all of this to us, to actually go back to our Father Krishna. So do your material activities. We are not saying no. Live, earn your livelihood. Don't do sinful activities. Give some charity. And then spiritual activities include A, B, C, D. What are that A, B, C, D? Is associate with the devotees, because the association will determine what kind of our thoughts are, what our nature is. All these things depends upon our association. The change will happen basically through the association. What we associate with, that is what we will become. Birds of feather, same feather flock together. So if we want to know about someone, then you see his friends, then we can tell who we are. Like that, associate A for association, B for books, that is scripture. Read the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. They will give nourishment to the intelligence. You will enjoy this reading. And along with the reading, if we hear properly from the bona fide sources, then we'll really relish the reading of the scripture. Everyone is really wanting some relishment, some taste, some rasa, and the rasa comes, actually it is there in the scriptures. So as we do these classes more and more, when we hear more and more, when we read more and more, we will experience that someday, soon. The how early we will experience, it depends upon our intensity. And then C for chanting. Chant, take some time, 5-10 minutes in your life. Chant one round, uh, whenever it is possible. And D is for diet. Eat only prasadam or which is offered to the Lord. So all these things, you know, our intelligence, it is feeding to our intelligence, our mind, our tongue, our ear, all the senses in this way are engaged in the service of the Lord. And that is going to change our consciousness from I and me to Krishna, and which will liberate us from this condition of material world, and then let us enter into the Goloka planet where we can see face to face the Lord and be in His association, and again enjoy our eternal, blissful, knowledgeable life over there. So, this is our ultimate destination, and that is what is the purpose of this human form of life. There is no other purpose. So, that is the program. So, this is what actually Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. He is telling all of us, please, my dear son, come back to me. You're struggling here. Please come back to me. So that is what the message of the Lord to all of us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay. Oh, you are unable to unmute? Okay, unmute. Okay, Ramesh Prabhu, now you can unmute. Ramesh.
Uh, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Uh, 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 today, actually, I'm having the same doubt, but in a different context.
Yeah.
Uh, I have been going through the Bhagavatam, so in that you maybe, I mean, we are all know that the story of Ajamin. Prabhu, Hare Krishna,
Your
is
voice
it
is
audible?
breaking.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
is
Now
it?
it's good.
Thank you. Acha, we all know the story of Ajamin. Uh,
Mhm.
he is very intelligent and devotional, and he has got all the knowledge of Vedas and Shastras, being a putra of Brahmin. Up to the young age, he has been doing all the worship and never had any bad habits. So
Yes,
the person who has got so much involved or engaged with the god till the young age, just because of one incident, how he has become so bad that no person can even think of being such a man. I mean,
yes,
he has degraded himself so badly that he is not fit for to become a human being also till
right.
his death. And only at the death, due to because of some good karma he has done at the young age, he has taken the name of the Lord, so he got to the heaven. But
Yes,
what was the reason, basic reason, despite having the so much of knowledge and engagement with the god, still he has become such a bad guy? That is
yeah.
my first question, Prabhuji. And
Okay.
second question, if you allow me, some people call that the the one who has written the Ramayana, the Valmiki Rishi. So by birth he is not a Brahmin or something, but he has been Nishachar who used to kill the animals for his livelihood, right? So
Yes,
up to certain age he was like that, and suddenly he has been transformed to the Rishi. So
yes,
one on the one side, one person who has been devotional but ended up the career the wrong side. One person who has by birth is a some niche jati, but still he has ended up life as a good person. Till today we celebrate his name. So
that's
what
great.
is that actually hidden truth behind? Today I am also a bad guy. Now I am trying to learn, let us say, Bhagavad Gita. So
Uh,
what exactly this knowledge is all about? Engaging with the gods will really take me to the good path, or something that is really changing. Over to you.
very good question you have asked. I would say I really appreciate for this question. Bhagavatam actually starts with some questions, and Suta Goswami, in answering that question, he says, "Munayo sadhu prustoham bhavadbhirlokamangalam yatkrita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati." They ask six questions, like you, how you asked. And the Suta Goswami, who is answering this question, he says, Munaya, oh sadhus, you have asked such a brilliant question. Your question itself is, gives satisfaction to the soul. As you're asking this question, I was feeling that satisfaction, I think. Okay, so your question, coming to your question. One side, Ajamil, in spite of having such a good birth, he led such a sinful activity. And on the other side, Valmiki, who has led a sinful life, and I changed into such a great sage. So that is why I said the A of our spiritual life for association. Ajamil, on one side, even though he had his father and born in a Brahman family, but did not have good association. And even the association of the father, he was when activity of the prostitute. Then he got bewildered, and the problem what has happened, he did not share that thought with his father. If, assuming that his father was a spiritual guide also, okay, because he did not share. So the spiritual mentor is very important in a person's life. And to answer on that day to your question also, I remember you said, what is the prerequisite in spite of having knowledge? What is that required? Right, that was your question on the first day. And I kept it intentionally. I did not disclose that. And why? Now you have come to that point. The main thing is the Mahat Kripa, the association of sadhus. Okay? Ajamil did not have that association, and this association is not something which will have for some time, and after we become progressed, then we will lose it. It is not the case. And on the other side, Valmiki, who had such a bad condition in his life, he was associated with Sri Narada Muni, right? So the association has changed him. Therefore, Shastra says, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koye, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. If we associate with the sadhu, even for a lava matra, for a fraction of a second, that will give us perfection in our life. Sarva Siddhi, all the perfection will happen just because of that sadhu sangha, even if it was for a moment. But if we give up that association, then there is no hope. Therefore, in the spiritual life, the ABCD, as in a language, we don't never forget the ABCDs. Similarly, in our spiritual life also, we should never ever forget this ABCDs of our spiritual life. That is association, books, reading. Always read to improve, keep our intelligence strong, make our intelligence strong, and chant to keep the mind controlled, and then eat good food. As I said on the first or second day, that the food which we eat will ensure what is our consciousness, which guna we will be in. So the foremost thing, and Mahat Kripa, the association of sadhu, the Kripa of sadhus is the prerequisite. In spite of having knowledge, what will make the person successful, or put him into a delirious condition depends upon the kind of association. And even if you have knowledge, then the most important, the prerequisite is your association of the sadhu. Okay, so is that answer your question? Good. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. How can one control his mind and get free from bondage of moha? So control of mind you can do through the chanting of the mantra, and that mantra we have discussed elaborately by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha mantra for this age, especially. This is the mantra. If you have any questions, doubts, or you find any better mantra, please let us know. We will clarify. Okay, Geeta Mataji, someone is raising her hand. You want to ask a question? Okay, meanwhile, she asks next question. I'll read Hare Krishna Prabhu. As it is said that we have to serve others, but when for others' happiness or for not hurting others, why sometimes we feel we are making mistake, and we don't ignore even after realizing that the thing which we are doing is wrong. No, your question is not very clear to me. That we have to serve others, but when for others happiness or for not hurting others, why sometimes feel we are making mistake, and we don't ignore even after realizing that the thing which we are doing is wrong. Please ask me uh, correctly if I am not understanding this properly, if you can put it in a better way. And the other question is how to keep Krishna in the center of all of our prescribed duties. Seems very difficult in relevance to our practical day-to-day activities. No, Prabhuji, it is not difficult. Very, very easy. It's very easy. You do your practical duties, you go to your job, maintain your families, give some time of your life, uh, 10 minutes or 15 minutes to take some time out and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. You say, I'm very busy, I don't get that time also. Okay. At least you go to office, while going you remember Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This is the first thing and foremost important thing which we have to learn to do. Because I said to take that poison out, we need some mantra. And the poison is there in our mind so much, we don't know. And it is coming from time immemorial, so many lifetimes. We have accrued so many thoughts, so much of contamination, so much of dirt is accumulated. And that cleansing, as soon as we know that this room is dirty, if I assume that there is a mirror, and in that mirror, if you want to see, it is not clean, let us say there is a thick layer of dirt, let's say 1 kilometer of dirt is there on that mirror, then what will happen? Can we see? No, we have to clean that. So like that, our mind is absorbed in so much of thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. First thing, that is what we should learn. And this is the easiest way. We don't have to, even if you have time, then better. Actually, we should take some time. If we can do so much for this body, which is anyways going to die, versus soul, can't we take some 5-10 minutes? It is not for the Lord. Lord will not get the benefited. But it is us. We are going to get benefited out of this chanting. At least by remembering initially to start with. I'm not saying you to do big things. As in LKG, they teach us in a very simple way. The Lord has given us very simple ways of coming back to Him, and that starts with your, even before chanting also, your hearing. You have been hearing from last 3 4. This is the fourth day we are hearing. This is the important thing. Should keep on hearing actually. After that, sometime you will start speaking. Means you will, as a child, he doesn't speak, right? He just yes. A mother says, "Oh, amma bolo, nana bolo, daddy bolo, papa bolo." He will go on hearing, and after some time he will start speaking. Similarly, in spiritual life also, we should start hearing. We should hear continuously. So don't think that 4 days are over. Our Bhagavad Gita, we have learned Bhagavad Gita. And no, this is a this is just a trailer. This is an advertisement, and the full movie is going to be released soon. And for that, you have to come back again and again and again. We have to hear and hear, and then after some time, we will start, speaking, saying ale kitna, as a small child speaks, amma, nana, something like that. He says. So similarly, we will also start saying like that. Okay, so it is an easy process. We'll do some classes where we can meet weekly or bi-weekly or whatever the way possible way you all have. In that way we can meet and we can go on hearing. It seems very difficult, but it is not difficult, because there are many people, at least I don't know, where are you from? Are you from Mumbai? Or wherever you may be. We are from, there are people in Mumbai, or there are people who are in Krishna consciousness. They are working, they are having families, they are doing their responsibilities, yet they are doing devotional service also. And they are much more peaceful, they are much more happy, contented life, having, leading a life which has got a goal which they want to pursue. So it is possible. We will learn. If you keep on attending these classes, we will teach you how we can improve or implement these things in our practical day-to-day life. Does that, as I said initially, if to remember the Lord's name, do you need to put so much of special efforts? Not required. If you can take some time, okay, well and good. Not also while traveling or while going here and there, at least while drinking, say Hare Krishna and drink. Or when you are speaking on phone, so far you were saying hello, hi, then you teach this to your children. Not saying maybe hello, hi, you say Hare Krishna to them. That's not, that does not require big deal. It's not a big deal. So these things, at least small things, we can start doing. Okay. And for someone who does not believe in Krishna, is it okay to get into debate with them over Krishna consciousness, which might lead into an argument? Mhm. If you don't do it for the sake of argument. Okay? Don't do it is for the sake of a debate. And just there are people who think that these people see always say Krishna Krishna. Let me check. Or the people have a thought that they also have so much of time. I also have so much of time. So let us get into some debate. With that, not that more. Debate means actually we have to come. Our discussion should be based on some common grounds first, and then it should lead to a purposeful conclusion. If that is the case, yes, you go ahead and discuss. No issue. We'll be happy. If you have some doubts, yes, please come up. If you have many other things you tell, please discuss with that. But not in a mood to, I have to debate and I have to win over them. No, with that, not mood. That is not the mood with which we can learn. That will be simply waste of our time and the opposite person's time also. Okay, so let's not get into the debate. If you want to have some meaningful discussion, conclusions, then we can discuss. Someone who does not believe in Krishna, you have to tell why you don't believe. You can talk to me later. Some people are too stubborn in their beliefs and might say things against Krishna consciousness. How to deal with it? Okay, so you might be a devotee and you might be trying to convince the opposite person. If they are too stubborn, then they are not stubborn to eat prasadam. Feed them lot of prasadam. Okay, that is the best way which what you can do. Huh? So they may not want to hear. Yes, I agree. There are people, and Krishna says they will be like that people. What to say? We speaking and they are not hearing. When Krishna was there personally, Duryodhana was not accepting him to be the supreme lord. Hiranyakashipu was thinking to kill him, to kill Narsingadev. Ravana was trying to kill Rama. So they were just fighting. So these Rakshasas will always be there in the Kali Yuga. But the problem is they are not so big Rakshasas that we cannot handle. They can be handled by giving them prasadam. So therefore Prabhupada started this kitchen movement. ISKCON means a kitchen movement. If they can't do anything, not chant, not believe in Krishna also, but they like Rasgulla and Gulab Jamun, offer it to Krishna and feed it to them. They are our ISKCON bullets, and anyone will be killed. Means their material thoughts will be killed with this ISKCON bullets. That is Gulab Jamun. Please feed them nicely. That is the easiest way. Okay. And someone is raising hand, but they are not able to speak, it seems. Any other question? Gita Mata. Okay, I would like to thank you all very much. But before I end, I don't want to end this sessions 4 days just like this. I have tried to only give a glimpse of what is Bhagavad Gita contains. We have not studied it in depth. We have to study that and we have to know more. The purpose of this 4 day session is that we should start our spiritual journey. And the journey starts with hearing, associating regularly on a week to week basis. So, what we do actually after this course, in fact, one of you should have asked the question, what is that we should do now? Of course, we heard, but what is that we have to do now? So, couple of people messaged me what to do. But so what I have to do is that we have to hear regularly. We have to study Bhagavad Gita. For that, normally after this course, we start a diploma course in Bhagavad Gita. That will be like weekends classes, Saturday or Sunday we choose, and then one day we will meet on that particular day for some time for 1.5 hour or 2 hours or so, and study that Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, learn them, and learn some shlokas. So this is actually if we do it every Sunday, it will go for 52 Sundays and it will take 1 year. So it is a 1 year diploma course in which we discuss um, the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the first chapter and second chapter. This is actually the basic foundation of entire Bhagavad Gita. So this is the basic diploma course which we conduct and which we can start. Okay, and because I was thinking there are two options. You all please reply me how you want to go about. This is Corona time, and we are not going to get unlocked for some more time because it is spreading so much. So we can do 3 days a week or 2 days a week classes and finish it off in 6 months or 4 months, or we can start. We can do it weekly once and do it in 1 year. So whoever is interested can write to me. You can 3 days a week. One reply is coming. So you all can write. Others who want to participate, who want to start, we will discuss. And someone is saying 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Prabhuji, oh wow, oh. So many responses saying 3 days. Oh, like okay. So we will do something, and then we will conduct this course. We can finish uh, mm, in three months or 4 months, and nicely we can remember initial some slokas, Mangalacharan slokas, and then about 27 to 30 slokas. We will help you to remember Bhagavad Gita slokas also. And by doing this, you will be so happy to learn actually the slokas, to know the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, what is there in it. We will now, I've given you very, very high level glimpse of what this Bhagavad Gita contains. But in that, at least 6 months or 4 months, which we are going to discuss, that will well, we will deal with, discuss in detail about Karma Yoga, about Jnana Yoga, and little bit of Bhakti Yoga. So these things we can do in that course. And we have actually, we used to do it free of cost. But this time I was thinking we will put some charge, because whenever there is, it is not a charge for my preaching, but that when you pay some fees, then you are also serious. The student becomes serious when he thinks, oh, I spent some money, I invested, so I had to do some vasuli of that. Sometimes the spiritual mind, our bodies are lazy, so therefore we tend to become lazy actually. So therefore, some fees, and it will be like a donation for this Goshala where I am staying, or for the Lord service. It will be utilized around 1,500 to 2,000 rupees minimum, whatever you can do. And if someone is really in problems because of the lockdown, they can't pay. Still, you write to me that we don't have, we are just a little bit having problems. So still, we are not. We are going to consider that. But I would suggest whoever are in a good position, if they can pay and attend this course, it would be very nice, because that will make ourselves serious. I It's not for, as I said, that it's not for the preaching of the classes, but when we give, then we think, oh, let us attend the class. Even if our mind does not allow, then still we will try to attend that class. Okay, and there was one question. We will take that and then we close it. Prabhuji, I mean, if we think of happiness of our loved ones, but sometimes whatever we do, keep them happy and not hurt them and fulfill their desire, in spite of knowing it is not right. In that way, don't ignore doing it even after realizing, and go with the flow and become blind in the love of that person. Oh, this is a very bad condition. You're saying if that person, it's not good for that person either, and neither you, but still because we are in love with that person, we continue to do, then that is not good. I'll tell you a story. There was a child who lost her mother, but the mother's sister was there, and because he lost her mother, so the sister of the mother of the child was taking care of him so nicely. Even though he was doing wrong things, she was allowing him to do, because out of love and affection, because he doesn't have mother, because of that compassion, she was allowing. He was going and beating the neighbor's son and coming, she was not saying anything. And he was doing some stealing, she was not saying anything. Like this, whatever he was doing, she was not saying anything, and ultimately he became a big thief, and then he was put into the jail. And then and he was sentenced to almost for 14 years of imprisonment. That much big offenses, wrong things he was doing. And then he was told, oh, do you want to meet someone? Then he said, I want to meet my aunt. Then she was called, and he gave her a tight slap. And the aunt was, shocked. Arey, why are you beating me? Then he told that if you would have hit me like this when I did my first mistake, today I would not have been in this position. So therefore, it is better that we hit and put him on the right track. Actually, that is love. Love means we think that goody goody and do whatever that opposite person says. No, that is not love. Real love is when the person is doing wrong and when we give a tight slap and chastise and then set him right. That is actually love. That is actually concern. That is what we really care for that person. That is what it shows that we care for that person. Okay, so therefore we have to do it right. When we correct them, it does not mean we are wrong or we hate them. No, one of the sign of love is that we correct and we hit when it is required. We correct. Okay, I hope that answer your question. Okay, thank you all very much. So I hope you are all in this group, and I also request that you may know me through that advertisement, but I don't know all of you. So I request all of you to write to me personally, little bit introduction about your name, where you're staying, and what you're currently doing, and how are you following already spiritual path, or if any path, whatever you're following, please write about that. And then whether you want to attend this Bhagavad Gita class or not. The 3 days or 2 days with the option you give me, and in a couple of days I'll put a message in the group saying when we are going to conduct, how we are going to conduct. So write me back with your name and where you stay, what is your occupation, what do you do, and something about yourself, so that I'll know about you. That is the only purpose. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Your contact number to write to you. My contact number is 900468303. I hope you are all there in the group, but I am writing it over here. 900468303. Everyone. Okay. So that is my number, Raghupati Pranadas. So you can write to me, and then I would be happy. And if you have any other questions also, I'd be happy to answer that question. Thank you all very much. You have been very nice audience for last 4 days, very attentive, and your enthusiasm was shown by the way you asked the question right from the day one. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.